Welcome back to the channel for another lap guide. As quickly as it arrived, round 3 is behind us and we now move on to round 4 of the Nations Cup, set to take place on the 21st of February. This is looking like it will be a very challenging and fun race as we travel to France, and more specifically to a firm favourite in the community, Sainte-Croix. Join me as I take us through all the information you need to know, along with some tips to help you start as high up the grid as possible. If you're planning on competing in the Nations Cup this weekend, you do not want to miss this. Let's dive straight in. We'll start with the race information. Here we have 24 laps, 16 cars in the race with a rolling start. There is a 6-minute qualifier ahead of the race. Fuel consumption rate is off for the qualifier but is set to ×2 in the race. Tyre wear rate is set to ×4 for both the qualifier and the race. The regulations are: we have 2 usable dry tyres this time around, and they are the Racing Medium and Racing Soft. The intermediate and wet tyres are also available. There is a required tyre type for this race of the Racing Medium and Racing Soft, so don't forget to pit and change during the race. Wide body, nitrous or overtake are prohibited. There is a specified car for this race, the Gran Turismo F3500A. Under car restrictions, we have BOP is set to mid-speed, car settings, adjustable brake balance only. For race settings, DR is affected, but SR is not affected. Interesting. There is light mechanical damage. There is no minimum number of pit stops, but bear in mind that we do have to change tyre compound. Track limits are set to normal. And finally, penalty settings. Shortcut penalty is set to weak. There is no wall collision penalty. Colliding with other cars is penalised, and cutting the pit lane line on entry or exit attracts a penalty. Today's lap we're going to be looking at is, at the time of this recording, the 7th top time on the global leaderboard of a 1 minute 35.457, completed on the Racing Soft tyres. Now, with all the formalities out of the way, let's get out on track. And we're straight into our first set of brake markers here. So we've got the 100 board. Just as you go under this, you're going to start to brake, or if you prefer, there is a grid marker on the right there. Just as your right tyre reaches that, you're going to brake in a straight line. And as we approach this 50 board, we're going to start to turn into the corner here, shifting down to 3rd gear. This may seem a little bit early to turn in, but trust me, we really want to attack this first corner. So all the green concrete on the right, this is where we want our car to be as we come through this corner. So you can see as we come round, we're going to stay in 3rd gear. We're getting both of our right tyres completely on the green concrete. We've got both of our left tyres on the white line. If you go over the white line, it will be a track limit penalty. But taking this approach to this corner will help us on the exit, because we want to aim the car towards the red square in the distance there on the barrier. This allows us to carry as much speed as possible as we exit through the corner, using all the track on the left, full power down the straight to the next corner where we've got 2 braking markers. We've either got the 100 board, just as you pass that, you want to brake, or where the red and white curb begins on the floor there. As you can see, you want to brake at that point. And as we slow the car down, we're going to start to turn in when we reach this 50 board here. Again, it might feel a little bit early, but we want to hit the inside curb on the left here. And as we come round, we're going to shift down to 2nd gear, but then shift back up to 3rd gear as we go across the curb before we start to accelerate fully, just in case we get any power oversteer. Use as much track on the right hand side as possible, and as soon as the car is in a straight position, we're going to accelerate down to the next corner, where we want to move the car across to the left side of the track. So we want to be sort of middle to left half of the track here as we approach this corner. Our turn in marker is this orange square on the barrier. So once we reach that, we want to start to turn into the corner. Just shift up to 6th gear as you do this. Also notice we're staying full acceleration through this first part of the corner. And where the curb starts on the left here, this is where we're going to start to slow the car down for the main part of this S, where we go onto the bridge. So we want to lift at this point, but also brake gently as you go around the first part of this corner, keeping to the left hand side as much as possible, but just be careful on the curb because it can unsettle the car. And now we've got 2 braking markers. So where the tarmac in the middle of the track changes colour, or the bridge on the right hand side, once either of those 2 reach the edge of your screen, you're going to brake for the corner. And as we come around, keep to the left, we've got a turn in marker of this orange square on the barrier. So once we reach that, we're going to turn into the right. We're going to only shift down to 3rd gear here. We don't want to go any lower just for power oversteer, because this is a very susceptible corner for it. But once we're round, we've got the car in a straight position, we're going to accelerate down across the bridge. Where we come to our next braking marker, which is the 100 board. So once we reach this, we're going to brake in a straight line. Just up ahead of this, there is a turn in marker, which is where the concrete turns into curb on the right hand side. And as we brake, we're going to shift down to 2nd gear before we reach the corner, looking ahead to the yellow and black signs, the one on the left there. Once that reaches the edge of your screen, that is your acceleration marker for this corner. Now, before we come through the apex here, we're going to shift up into 3rd gear, just being careful of the curb and the accelerator here. Both can spin you on the way out of this corner. Get as close to the wall on the right hand side as you dare and accelerate down to the next section. And it comes up really fast. So on the right hand side, there's an orange square by where the marshal is stood. This is where we're going to start to turn into the long right hander here. And then the lamppost on the right side, once you get to the 2nd lamppost, this is where we're going to lift. Also apply some brake at this point as well. And once we've gone past this 2nd lamppost, we need to count down another 4 lampposts on the right hand side. So we're going to go past 2. We're going to lift, brake slightly. We're going to count another 4 lampposts, always hugging the inside wall on the right hand side here. And once we've reached that 4th lamppost, we'll start to accelerate out of the corner. But we want to stay in 4th as we go around the main part of the corner. Just being careful not to drift too far. Get as close to the wall on the left hand side as you can. There's a lot of time to be made up on that corner all the way down this straight. And we've only got a couple of braking points to come. So we've got 2 markers here. We've got the 150 board on the left hand side. Once you go past that, you can brake, or when the bush on the right hand side reaches the edge of your screen, you can brake at that point. And up ahead, the 100 board, that is our turn in marker for this corner. As we turn in, we're going to shift down to 2nd gear. We want to clip the first part of the curb here, shift up into 3rd gear before we really start to accelerate out of the corner, just to eliminate any oversteer. Now we can take the next few corners at full power, but we need to start clipping curbs. So the first curb on the left, we want to clip this curb. Then as we come around the corner, we want to stay to the left. We want to clip the 2nd curb on the left, under the bridge, move across to the right, clip the curb on the right. And then as we come back across to the left, we want to clip this curb, but keep hugged to the left-hand side here because it's important for the exit. So we want to keep to the left side of the track here. And then we want to clip that last curb on the left as we come round and down the hill to the last braking point, where we're looking for our brake marker on the right-hand side. There's a little bunch of trees there. Once the first tree in that bunch reaches the edge of your screen, you're going to brake. And then we've got 3 turn-in markers. So we've got the 50 board, we've got the last tree of the bunch on the right, or the black and yellow sign on the left, whichever one you prefer to use there. When it gets to the edge of your screen, you want to start to turn in. And we'll use the same approach that we did with the first corner. So we want to cut across this corner, take advantage of the track limits. So both right wheels here are in the grass. Both of our left wheels are across the white line, but they're still on the red and white curb, so we avoid a track penalty. As we come out of the corner, we're going to shift up to 4th, be careful on the accelerator, take a chunk out of the grass, annoy the groundskeeper, power down the home straight, and that is a 1 minute 35.457. Well, there we go, a lap around Sainte-Croix. Let me know in the comments if this has helped you out, and feel free to drop by after the race to let me know how you got on. Have fun and race well. It would be great if you could consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss another lap guide. And why not drop into one of our Gran Turismo live streams? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.